Welcome back to How to Become a Freelancer in 30 Days. This is Anthony Chatfield. And today, day 28, we're going to talk about investing your freelance profits. We're going to talk about turning all that success into new opportunities through careful investment. And the reason I wanted to talk about this towards the end here is that as a business, you want to think about ways you can grow and improve and increase your profitability, not just replacing your current income. Now, there's obviously different situations here. Maybe you need the income, maybe you're unemployed, maybe you're trying to supplement, maybe you have big expenses. This is not meant in any way to tell you how you should or should not be using the revenue you're generating. This is just talking about ways, if you're making more than you need beyond what your current revenue is, even if you're building towards a goal, how you can reinvest some of that profit and use it to grow your business faster. All right? So today's goals are going to be determining how to spend or save your profits as they come in, evaluate when you are actually profiting. So I'm going to use that word profit throughout, and profit really means money beyond expense. And expense is your salary, to put it simply. Whatever amount of money you need to survive or that you need to replace your current income, that's expense. Anything beyond that is a profit. All right? And if you do have a day job, deciding how best to build out your business or save that money for quitting your job. So the first thing you can do, and this is not easy and is also equally time consuming. And I'm going to say that up front. This is very time consuming. So don't expect that you can just outsource things and it'll save you time in the long run. It takes time to find people, to manage people, to edit their work, to check their work. If you're not, it doesn't scale as effectively as you might think it does. So outsourcing is something to use carefully, but if you do it well, it can help you grow your business. And it requires finding good people and knowing how to manage those people and having a good checklist in place. But if you set a good quota, so you know how much to outsource or how much to spend, this is just part of budgeting. And if you ensure you never overspend, so you're not spending more than you're making, it can leverage your time a little bit. You're having other people do the work for you, and you can focus on other things. For example, let's say you make $5,000 a month designing different logos and pieces of graphic information for websites. If you want to work half as much, so you want to cut the amount of time you spend every month working in half from that $5,000, so you're going to do $2,500 worth of work, but you want to keep your income exactly the same, then you're going to have to find somebody that you can outsource the rest of the $2,500 worth of work to, and then you're also going to have to generate more revenue. So there's a lot of factors involved here. In that case, let's say you find somebody to work for half of what you work for. You need now to generate $7,500 of revenue every month. Although you will have, half as much work to do, but then you have to manage that individual. So you can tell it's kind of a rabbit hole you go down here. It is an investment. It does save you time and make you more money in the end. But keep in mind all those factors because it's not as easy as just give somebody else the work and make more money. You have to manage those people, and that's a full-time job in its own right. Building websites. A lot of things you can invest in here. You can buy domain names, whether you're going to use them now or not. You can pay for hosting space, something you should be doing anyways, but you can upgrade it so you can host more websites. You can pay for plugins or themes that are going to help you build that website out. Or you can pay for content and graphics. If you're willing to pay for the whole thing, you can get a whole website developed in less than a month. Easy. If you know what you want to build and you have the cash on hand, websites can be built almost overnight. That's how many people are out there and how skilled they all are. The key is how much money you want to spend on it and how much money you have to spend on it. And what you're going to use that website for and if it's going to generate you more revenue. All things you need to keep in mind as you do this. But if you do it effectively, a good website can be something you use to promote an ebook you write or a podcast you record or pieces of content you want to sell yourself. Lots of different ways you can use this as an investment source. There are a lot of people out there who will build a website and then sell it off on marketplaces like Flippa. It's really a matter of what you want to do with it and how you're going to make money out of it. And we talked a little bit about that yesterday in terms of how to make money on the side. Here's how you would spend the money to speed that up a little. Other investments you can make. You can buy new websites, existing ones, again on like Flippa. These are sites that are ready to monetize. So if you have something in mind and don't want to wait for it, you can buy a full ready to go website. You can hire people. This is going beyond outsourcing. You can go out and hire an individual, and usually one of the first people you would want to hire is like a virtual assistant or something similar, somebody who can manage all the day-to-day stuff that you don't have time for anymore. You can buy software or tools. Arguably, this is almost an investment you don't have a choice on, especially if you're building anything. If you're a developer or designer, if you don't already have that software to do that work, you need to buy it. And quitting your job. This is an investment. Obviously, you need money to do this. I'm not going to give you, in-depth advice on your own expenses here. That would be a whole other course on its own, how to quit your job. But when you are preparing to do so, you obviously want money in the bank. You want to think about factors like health insurance and taxes. You want to make sure your revenue's covered. You want to make sure your income is diversified enough so that it's not at risk. A lot of factors to consider there, but the more money you make from freelancing profits, the more investment you can make on that front. Along those lines, if you're saving up for a major transition, you want to know how much to save and when to have it by so you can eventually quit. I'm not going to give you any kind of hard numbers here because it really depends on your situation and if you have a family and where you live and what your expenses are. But spend some time, determine how much money you need in the bank before you make this move, how much revenue you're generating. You don't want to go from paycheck to paycheck as a freelancer because it's way scarier. You never know when the work's going to dry up. And then start thinking about how close you are. With a very realistic timeline, can you get it done in 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years? Be realistic and don't be depressed if it's like a year or two from now. You can build towards that over the course of that time. And all the money you make extra is just it's going in the bank. It's stuff you're going to have for that rainy day fund. As you continue to move forward, set aside profits, find ways to reinvest, find ways to generate passive income. That's how you're going to have fun. That's how you're going to build out a business in this way. And it's how you're going to make it so much easier for you to quit your job someday. All right, so for today's actions, very simple. Decide if and what you want to invest your profits into, and then create an action plan for how to do that. If you have a personal finance manager or somebody you can talk to about this, I highly recommend doing so. An accountant is very helpful as well. They can talk about which things make the most sense. The key here, though, is just to make educated decisions about how to spend that revenue. Don't see it as extra money. Don't see it as expendable. If you're doing this to have fun and you just want to make a little extra money to have fun with, 100% okay. And I'm a little jealous that you have, not everybody has that opportunity, and that's awesome. That's really cool. To be honest, I did when I first got out of college. I didn't need all the money that I was generating, and I wasted quite a bit of it. But if you have a family, if you're trying to quit your job, if you don't have a job, if you're trying to supplement your income, now's the time to start thinking about what you're going to do with that money and how you're going to manage it. Because if you think about it later, when it's too late, it becomes that much harder. So that's everything for today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you haven't yet, please leave a review of the program as a whole. I would love your feedback. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you very much.